Hi, everyone. Happy Leap Day 2024. I think this is a great way to spend the extra time. So thanks for joining me. And this evening, we are going to be doing a restorative type class. Yes, restorative type class. And if you're watching the replay, I would just suggest getting some props. Like I have a bolster, I have that round bolster, I have blocks, blankets. I'll grab a blanket over here. Anything that can elevate like your legs or your knees, and anything that you can be supported on. All right. So if you are watching the replay and you want to pause this and go grab some props for yourself, they're just always a good idea in a restorative class. All right. So I'm going to have you guys start this evening. Let me get back here. In a child's pose. Okay. We're going to just, if you have a bolster or a pillow or something, you can bring it in between your legs so your knees are nice and wide, and you're going to allow your torso to rest on the bolster. I'm not going to come all the way down because I have my mic pinned right here. Actually, I might just switch it. I'm going to switch it for a sec. All right, so you're going to come all the way down, and you can bring your right cheek on to the bolster. Arms can wrap around the bolster, or if it's more comfortable, around the side. Now, if your hips are not reaching your heels, they're up here, totally okay, but you might want to put a pillow or blanket under there just for a little more support. So FYI, I am timing us. I'm not checking my texts. And so I just want you to know that. So just settle in here and arrive in this space, and just let everything that has happened up until this point in time to stay outside of the room that you're in. Okay, this hour, this extra hour, extra day, this moment is just for you right now. And we'll just begin to, like I said, settle in and begin to deepen your breath. And as you deepen your breath, inhale into the belly, up into the low ribs, up into the chest. And as you exhale, allow the chest to deflate. The low ribs come in and the belly empties. And as you're being supported here by this bolster or pillow, whatever you have, perhaps with each exhale, you drop deeper into that support. And just continuing with those nice, long, deep, and even breaths. And just a side note, I mean, it's not really a side note, but if your neck is not comfortable this way, you can stack your hands and rest your forehead on your hands. I'm going to switch you side to side. If you're going to do that, I'll let you know when. But otherwise, you can have your forehead straight down, resting on your hands. So if you have a cheek on one side or the other, you can go ahead and switch sides and or stay exactly where you are if you prefer that. As your breath is deepening and your body is beginning to soften, you can start to send the breath back perhaps to your hips. And when I say, send your breath back there, I mean just visualize your breath going into that space, allowing those hips to perhaps soften a little bit with each exhale. take 3 more nice, deep and even breaths here. And after you've finished that third breath, bring your forehead back to center if you have it on one cheek. Bring your hands onto the earth, walk them back towards your knees, and press yourself up off the ground. We're staying down here. We're going to move our bolsters. We don't need those for a minute, or pillows, or however it is. And we're going to come into a thread the needle. Now, if your hips are really feeling this, I'm going to give you a couple options. So we can do a child's pose, thread the needle. And again, the pillow under the bum is really comfortable. And I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so we're going to just take our left hand out long. Right arm is going to come underneath the left, back of the hand to the earth. And so if this feels great in the hips to you, you're going to stay there. Okay. If that's too much, because we were just in that child's pose, bring it up to a tabletop position. Bring the left hand slightly under the face. Inhale, reach the right arm up towards the sky. Thread the needle same way, right arm underneath the left. Left hand is on, the back of the hand is on the earth. Right arm is going to reach forward, is one option, okay? Or you can reach that palm up towards the sky. Palm is facing the left side. Then you're going to turn it around to face the right side. Wrap it around to the right hip, all right? For a little twist, if you want that. We're going to be here for a few minutes. So in restorative, we hold poses in yin and restorative. So some of these poses tonight will be yin, some of them restorative. But in the restorative poses, we're supported, we're bolstered, and we hold them to allow the connective tissue to soften. All right, so the connective tissue around the joints softens, and as we hold that, we can perhaps deepen it, but we don't have to. You know, it's you get to be exactly where you want to be. But one thing I would love for you to continue to do is to breathe. Okay, even though we're laying here for long periods of time, we of course still want to breathe, and focusing on that breath can be really beneficial. If you need more in the shoulder, press the back of that right hand into the earth and isometrically pretend to pull that right hand back towards your shoulder, and you may feel more of a stretch that way. And 3 more nice, deep and even breaths here. Bring your left hand underneath your shoulder. Press into that left hand. Go ahead and lift the hips up off the earth if you have them in child's pose. Right arm up towards the sky. Right hand comes back to meet the left. Let's find ourselves in a tabletop. And we'll just do a quick little cat-cow here just to reset the spine. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the hips, lift the gaze for cow pose. And as you exhale, curl the upper spine, gaze towards your feet or belly. Let's do two more. Inhale, reach it through for cow. Exhale, curl it in. Last one, inhale. Find that neutral tabletop position. If you're doing the thread the needle from this position, bring the right hand slightly under the center of the face. Inhale, lift the left arm up towards the sky. Exhale, left arm under right. And then if you're taking the child's pose version, just reach the hips back. Right arm comes long in front of you. Left back of the hand is on the earth. You may notice that one side will be tighter than the other. And if you wanted to take that half bind, right arm up towards the sky, flip the palm, wrap it over to the left hip. If you need more in the shoulder, press the left back of the hand into the earth, and then pretend to pull it back towards your shoulder. And you are actually dragging it. You don't have to pretend, really. You'll feel it. You'll feel a little bit more in that shoulder if you need it. Three more nice, deep, and even long breaths here. Bring your right hand underneath the shoulder, press it into the earth, lift the hips up off your blanket or the earth, left arm up towards the sky, and then bring it down to meet the right. We'll do three more cat-cows on this side to reset the spine. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the hips, lift the gaze for cow. Exhale, curl it in. Really puff up that upper spine. That's where that cat pose comes in. Inhale, reach it through. Belly drops, chest and gaze lift. Exhale, press the earth away. Roll that upper spine. And inhale. I think one more. Cow. I lost count. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, find tabletop, nice neutral spine, and just come back to sitting on your heels. Okay. And then we're going to come off of our heels and we're sitting on our bum. We're going to come to laying on the ground, on the earth, and we don't need any props for this one. So feet are on the earth, arms out in front, roll the shoulders down the spine, engage the core, and we'll just roll all the way down. Remove any things that might be in your way. I always wear a hair clip that's in my way when I have to, when I'm doing floor stuff. Anyway, we're going to bring our legs up to tabletop position. Arms are long, palms face down. We're going to cross right knee over left. Now, option to take what we call the double bind. This is called eagle legs. So you can wrap that right foot around to the left ankle. I'll be honest, it doesn't feel great to me on my hips. So I just have my knees crossed. I'm going to bring my arms out to a T or a cactus, your call. All right, we're going to inhale. We're going to drop our legs over to the left. All right, so right knee is on top of the left, and we're dropping our knees over to the left. Both shoulders are on the ground. Now, if you're not feeling anything here, you can visualize this right hip reaching down towards the front of your mat. All right, or that double wrap will maybe make you feel a little bit more. If you're feeling too much and your knees are not wanting to drop to the left, that would actually be a great use of a bolster, right? That I said we weren't using, but it would be a really nice use to drop that right knee on top of that bolster, okay? So again, this is a restorative pose. You're not necessarily meant to feel anything too intense here. Three more deep and even breaths here. Gently bring your knees back up through center, unraveling. Unwrap that right leg off the left. Let's hug the knees into the chest. You can gently roll side to side here on your sacrum. And then we'll switch sides. So bring those legs back to a tabletop. Arms are wide at T. Left crosses the right. And if you want to take that double binder, see how it feels on this side, right? Drop the knees over to the right. Both shoulders stay on the earth. And if you need to bolster like we did on the other side sooner than later, absolutely do that. Option actually to take the gaze over the left side. I was remiss on the other side, but if you would like to do that. But certainly one side may feel tighter than the other, and that's okay. You feel the need to deepen, you can take that double wrap with the foot at the ankle. Visualize reaching that left hip down towards the front of your mat. Three more deep and even breaths. Slowly bring the knees up through center. Release that right knee off, or the left knee off the right. Hug the knees into the chest. And then we've been laying on the ground for a little bit now. You may have already noticed that your body temperature is dropping, and that's normal. So, if you need to grab a sweatshirt or have a blanket nearby to cover yourselves, that's always helpful. You can take some knee circles here. I have my hands on top of my knees, and I'm just bringing the knees into the chest, out wide, long to the front of the mat, and then back together. So just a few of those each direction. I'm going to switch now. So legs or knees are towards the front of my mat, arms are long. Widen out the knees, pull the knees in towards the armpits, and then back together. Do 3 of those, or 5, however many you like. Get to do what you want. When you are ready and feel done with that, you're going to bring the soles of the feet onto the earth and find whatever bolsters you might have. Okay, I'm going to give a couple options depending on what you might have. Maybe you have a pillow, maybe you have something harder. Even a foam roller is nice if you have that at home. But here's what I'm going to do to start. I'm going to bring this bolster underneath my knee. Okay. And actually, I'm sorry. That's not what I want to do. I want to bring the bolster underneath my hips. That was not very graceful. Okay. Bolster underneath the hips. You could do this with a yoga block as well. Just the higher it is, it's a little bit more therapeutic for this particular move. Okay, so I have the bolster or a block or a foam roller underneath my hips. All right, my feet are close to the bolster. I'm going to hug one knee. Let's bring our right knee in towards our chest. All right. So option, honestly, you could just stay here. This feels really good to me. However, if you'd like, and this is what I was going for, we're going to reach our left leg long. All right. And my left foot is flexed. And now you're probably feeling it in your left hip flexor and maybe even up into the psoas muscle, which is also a hip flexor. So up above your hip bone, you might feel it in there. Typically, the higher the hips are, the more you might feel it. If you feel like you're too high, you can frankly do this laying on the ground. Again, a block on the first level is totally appropriate, but sometimes you can go even higher and that left leg will drop off lower to the ground and giving you more of a stretch. So you can play around with that and see what feels appropriate for your body tonight. So left foot flexed is going to give you more intensity. If it feels too intense, just go ahead and unflex that foot. Right foot can be flexed or pointed, frankly. And to give yourself a little bit more, you can bring the right knee out towards the right armpit and see how that feels. Our hips spend a lot of time in flexion when we're seated, which we spend a lot of time doing these days. So this is just a really nice thing to do at the end of the evening. And pro tip, I do this off the side of my bed. So I will hug my right knee into my chest and I will drop the left leg off the side of the bed. So of course I sleep on the left side of the bed. The right side doesn't get it as much, but it does feel good. If it feels too much, you can bend that left knee again, bringing the left sole of the foot to the earth. Three more deep and even breaths. If you still have the left leg straight, go ahead and bring the left sole of the foot to the earth to begin, and then bring that left knee in to meet the right. If you want to do a couple of those knee circles here, again, maybe three one direction and three the other. And then we'll switch sides. So this time, right foot comes to the ground, left knee hugs into the chest. Option to stay right here, or we're going to reach that right leg long. Flexing the right foot might make it more intense. If that's enough, stay right there. And you might want to, stay here for a little bit and see if you can deepen it after a minute or two. And then, or the option is bring that left knee out towards the armpit to feel it a little bit more in that psoas region. Now's a good time to see if you want to deepen it by flexing or bringing the knee a little farther out, or stay exactly where you are. Three more deep and even breaths. Your right leg is long. Bring the sole of the foot onto the earth and then hug that knee in to meet the left, both knees into the chest. Last time for some hip circles here, or knee circles. And then bring both feet to the earth. Lift your hips up and remove whatever you have underneath them, and then lower the hips back down to the earth. We're going to hug our knees back into the chest again. An option to either rock and roll in the spine if that feels strong and healthy, or maybe we've slowed it down enough that we just want to roll over to one side and gently push ourselves up to seated. So keep or find your bolster. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together, knees out wide. And we're going to bring the feet a little farther away from us. And then we're going to take our bolster and place it on top of our feet in between our knees. And a couple options here. We're going to hinge at the hip any amount. And so it could look like this. Forehead is on the bolster, and I'm wrapping my hands around the bolster. Or you might want to take a block or more pillows or anything so that your head is supported wherever you land. Okay. So head is supported wherever you land. One of my favorites is actually to take the thumbs, elbows are on the bolster, thumbs at my third eye, that spot in between the eyebrows. Okay, so a few options there for you. So you've already been here almost a couple minutes. We're going to hang out a little bit longer. Option, if you're feeling like you could deepen and you want to, you can either remove maybe something that was holding your head up if you feel like you can come further down, or you can move the bolster away from your body and hinge at the hip even more, still allowing something else for your head if need be. Or you stay exactly where you are. We'll go 5 more deep and even breaths here. Depending on where your hands are, walk them up towards your knees, gently rise up. We'll remove the block. We're going to keep the bolster here and we're going to widen out our legs. So they don't have to be super wide. We're not doing the splits here or anything. And you can really take them to that very first point of resistance, if that, okay? In fact, maybe you get that resistance and then you come in just slightly, all right? Same thing. Bolster, stack them up, however many you need. Head is fully and totally supported here. This is not feeling super great on your hips. A blanket underneath them can be very helpful. It will tilt the sacrum slightly. If that's still not doing it for you, you can, if you know how, you could come up to a legs up the wall type pose and have the legs apart there. Okay, so legs would actually be up on the wall for support. All right. Wherever you are, make sure that you are fully and totally supported here. There's no pain, and there's really not much intensity either at this stage. If you'd like to deepen, bringing the bolster farther away from you or taking out a block for our last few breaths here, you could. Three more breaths. Gently walk your hands up towards your torso, your body, and then gently lift up nice and slowly. We'll remove our blocks and our bolster, but you're going to have them nearby because, oh, and then let's just gently bring one foot in. Forgot I have to get you out of the pose, and then bring in the other. You can come into an easy seat here. We are going to end this class this evening with a nice, about a 15-minute yoga nidra. And so you kind of want all the props for yoga nidra. You want to be supported and you want to be warm. So take a minute to find yourselves laying on your back and maybe something under your knees, blanket over your body, maybe socks on your feet, anything that you need to keep yourselves nice and warm. And I'll give you a minute to settle in. Yoga Nidra it's guided, and I will be reading from a script. So while you get settled, I am also getting settled. So you're getting the wiggles out. Ideally in Yoga Nidra, try to be as still as you can. Of course, if you need to move, do. But Yoga Nidra, by definition, is yogic sleep. And so it is a deep guided meditation. And while the word sleep is in there, don't necessarily want you falling asleep, but if you do, it's okay. Again, it's all okay. So you're comfortable. You've covered yourself with a blanket. You're checking for any lumps or bumps in the blankets, the clothing. You're just settling in. And scan your whole body, making sure you're as comfortable as you can be. Your feet are relaxed, your legs, your hips, your back, your arms, shoulders, jaw, and forehead. Checking in and making any further adjustments if it will help you be the most comfortable you can be. And feel yourself settling in. Serene, like a still lake. And setting aside anything that's happened before this moment. And setting aside anything that's happening after this practice. Bring all of your awareness into your practice here for the next 15 minutes. Setting aside everything for these moments to calm and connect. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, letting go of any thoughts you'd like to let go of in this moment. Let go of any thoughts. Let go of any need to do. You are just being. This is your time for yourself. No agenda, just peace. Begin to experience the stillness even more. Know that you can move, but if it feels good, allow yourself to enjoy this stillness, this chance to do nothing. Resting, just as you like. If it feels restful, allow these words to be received energetically rather than mentally. Perhaps even the mind can rest now. And in its place, there's effortless awareness. Feel all experience becoming more and more effortless. Serene and effortless. Yoga Nidra has now begun. A series of energetic points will be named. Allow your awareness to float effortlessly from point to point. Start by floating awareness to the point between the eyebrows. Effortless awareness of the point between the eyebrows. The hollow of the throat. The right shoulder joint. Moving freely to the right elbow joint. Wrist joint. The right thumb. The tip of the index finger. Tip of the middle finger. Tip of the ring finger. Tip of the little finger. Effortless awareness. The right wrist joint, elbow joint, shoulder joint, hollow of the throat. Shifting your awareness over to the left shoulder joint, elbow joint, wrist joint, the left thumb, tip of the index finger, tip of the middle finger, tip of the ring finger, tip of the little finger. Shifting freely. The left wrist joint, elbow joint, shoulder joint, hollow of the throat, the heart center, the right side of the chest, the heart center, the left side of the chest, the heart center, the heart center, the heart center. Resting awareness at the heart center, not thinking, just feeling. Become aware of the breath, aware of the body gently moving with each inhale and exhale. Notice on the inhalation that the abdomen gently rises, and then the chest rises. And on the exhalation, abdomen falls, chest falls. Inhale, abdomen rises, chest rises. Exhale, abdomen falls, chest falls. Feel this wave of breath. like a wave washing into the shore, then washing away from the shore. Follow this gentle wave of breath. Each breath watching the wave rise and watching it fall. No need to make any changes to the breath, simply watching. Watching the natural wave of breath, like watching gentle waves on the ocean. Begin to count the waves. Simply follow the natural pace of breath. Inhale 1, exhale 2, inhale 3, exhale 4, and so on up to 26. If you lose track, that's fine. Simply start again at 1. Now let go of counting the waves of breath. It doesn't matter if you reach 26 or if you lost track. Just let go of the count. Bring your awareness back to your heart center. Notice the heart center rising on inhalation, falling on exhalation. Bring awareness back to your body. Yoga Nidra is now complete. Feel your body peacefully resting. Feel the support beneath you. Notice the temperature of the space you're in. Notice the sounds. I'm going to invite you to stay here in what I hope is a deeply relaxed and peaceful state. Since you're at home, you get to take all the time that you want to enjoy. Thank you so much for practicing this evening. Om Shanti Shanti Om. May peace be with you.